Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm great. Firstly, I want to thank you for accepting my invitation and allowing me to talk with you.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So actually, I was trying to connect you from last 3 to 4 days, but we are unable to connect.
Yes, I'm very happy that we're finally able to talk today and our
Yeah,
time zones are syncing.
yeah. So I want to introduce you to my audience.
Mhm.
So can you introduce yourself to my audience?
Sure, absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Sandie Heron. I am from Jamaica, presently living in Japan. I enjoy traveling, I enjoy meeting new people, and I also love trying new food. I am also the author of a book that was just published, Journey into the Unknown, which pretty much talks about my experience moving from Jamaica to live and work in Japan. So, yeah, that's a good start.
So you are a content creator, radio presenter, and teacher.
Yeah, so those are the other hats. I work as an English teacher here in Tokyo, and I also present and produce a radio program in Jamaica as well. So, oh,
So
yeah, I have a YouTube channel. So I do similar things to you, where I enjoy capturing the stories of different people around the world and sharing those stories with others.
So you are from?
My country?
Yeah, you're from. You live in Japan right now, but
Yeah, I live in Japan right now, but I am from Jamaica.
Jamaica. Okay, okay. So two different fields. I mean, you are into two different fields:
Mhm.
teaching, writing, and you're author of a book. Now, radio presenter, and what all this? Why all this in your life?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. One, I enjoy writing. So I enjoy sharing my story with others. I've always enjoyed writing, I've always enjoyed reading, and I value hearing the stories of other people. And of course, I value sharing my experiences as well. So, my story of moving from Jamaica to live in Japan, I wanted to share that with others and also why I decided to make the move, my own journey of faith. And hopefully, in doing that, my hope is that I'll be able to inspire others who want to take their own leap of faith as well. In terms of teaching, I just wanted to visit Japan. When I was younger, I actually had a dream that I was in Japan, and so I pursued that. And I mean, my journey just took me there.
Okay, you fulfilled your dream.
Yeah. I did. Yes.
Fantastic. And tell me about your book.
Okay. So I have it here because I just did another video. So this is my book. It's called Journey into the Unknown, Finding the Courage to Move from Where You Are to Where God Wants You to Be. And in the book, when I was in Jamaica, I was working at a law firm as a paralegal. And I was on that path. I started going to law school to pursue a degree in law. And but for some reason, I was working at a law firm, but after a while, I just felt like I did not want to be there anymore. I felt as if my time was up at my job, and it was a very peculiar place for me to be in because I was in the corporate world. And, it seemed as if I was on a path to success, but there was something within me that was just yearning for more. I had this passion for writing within me, and I just wanted to pursue something else. I felt as if there was something else that was calling me. And so I started praying, because I'm a spiritual person as well. I'm a Christian. And so oftentimes when I am at that fork in the road and I have no idea where to go or what to do, I start praying. And so I prayed and I was like, God, what do you want me to do? Where should I go? What should I do with my life? And one night I had a dream and I saw myself in Japan. I saw children playing all around me. They were very happy. And in that dream, I said to someone, I think we should move to Japan. I think we should move to Japan to teach. And I remember when I had that dream and I woke up, I felt so very excited about everything. And I reached out to a friend of mine who had posted pictures of being in Japan. And I just said to her, how did you get there? And she introduced me to a company that was hiring. And I just applied and I was accepted. And so I rented my house, I sold my car, I downsized all of my clothes and my shoes and my perfumes into 2 pieces of luggage. And I just said to my family and friends, I was like, guys, I'm out. I'm gonna go. And so I went on this new journey into the unknown, and I came to Japan to live. And
So,
so, mhm.
yeah, go on.
Yeah, and so the book itself really captures that. I actually started writing it before I arrived in Japan. But what I started writing at that time was just everything that was going on in my life, how I felt about leaving my place of employment, this place of uncertainty that I was in, and my fears of failing, my fears of being a disappointment, not just to me, but before others. And so I was writing about all of those experiences. And then when I came to Japan, I just got caught up in experiencing a different culture and just being in a new space. And I put the manuscript. But then this year, it was right before everything started with COVID-19. As I was stepping out of a train in Tokyo, it's so funny. It's almost as if a small voice said to me, Sandy, you should write a book. And I said to myself, I said, write a book? And I made a note of it in my phone. And then it's later that day that I remembered that I had started a manuscript 2 years before. And so I just continued it and I completed and published on August 1st. So
So, how is this journey to unknown?
I'm sorry, one more time.
How is this journey, uh, journey to unknown?
How is this?
Journey, journey
How is
into unknown.
journey into the unknown? How is the journey? That's a very good question. It's exciting. It is unpredictable. I remember when I first left home, I was excited about moving into a new place. I didn't know what to expect, but I was so excited about the possibility of trying new things. And I remember when I left home, I thought that I was going to Japan to live my best life. I was gonna explore and meet many people, and I just thought that every day I just would have been happy. But when I arrived in Japan and I went through my honeymoon phase, maybe about a couple months when everything was exciting and I was trying new food and everything, and then the unpredictable part of it is that I did not anticipate the culture shock that I would have experienced. I did not anticipate the periods of depression and anxiety that I would go through. And just having to overcome all of those things. And also, I did not realize just how much this journey into the unknown would expand my ways of thinking, my worldview, and how much really it would have caused me to grow. And so it has been just a journey of development, and I have evolved so much on this journey into the unknown that now I can say to you that the person I was before I came to Japan is certainly not the person that I am right now. So unpredictable would be a good word. A magical would be another one. Yeah.
So, unknown people and unknown situations, how you handled this?
how I handled it, I had to learn to adapt. And I had to learn to adapt very quickly. So for me, it was a sink or swim situation, and being so far away from home and everything that I knew and I was accustomed to, I had to swim. So I had to learn very quickly how to maneuver my way in different cultural settings. So, for example, I had to learn how to bow properly when I'm talking to persons at my school. In Jamaica, I wasn't accustomed to bringing an extra pair of shoes, for example. But in Japan, your shoes that you wear outside, you don't wear it inside most buildings. So you change your shoes at the door. Um, there is no talking on the train. Japan is a little bit more orderly than my country. And so really I had to learn how to adapt in different around different people and different places so that I could not only survive but thrive where I am. So yeah.
So 100% sure there are a lot of different things in Japan that you have not seen in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the first thing that came into your mind when you stepped into Japan, leaving Jamaica?
When I stepped into Japan, well, when I first arrived, I went to Tokyo and I did 1 week of training. But after that, where I started living in my first year was in the northern region of Japan in this very small town called Kakuda. And I think the first thing that I realized, I mean, one of your listeners might hear this and they'll be like, "Well, Sandy, duh," was there were no other foreigners where I went to live, and certainly I was the only black woman who was there. And that was totally different for me because I had never been in a space where I stand out so much. I mean, home I blend in, but in this space where I was, like, I would go to the grocery store and people would just be staring at me, especially younger kids. They would just be staring. I'd be doing my grocery shopping. I would be on the road at a convenience store, and people would just stare at me. So that was very different. Um, Getting accustomed to the trains. We don't have trains in Jamaica. It's mostly taxis and buses. And I had to get used to the trains and learn how to take the trains from one place to another. Getting lost a couple of times. But so those things were very different. And I was in the rural area as well. I started seeing like rice fields, which I had never seen in Jamaica. So those things were different.
Have you ever thought to go back to Jamaica?
Well, I'm almost here for 3 years and I have not returned home as yet. Why? Because as I told you, I've lived in Jamaica for a very long time. So when I came here, I wanted an opportunity. Every opportunity that I had to travel, I wanted to visit other countries. Um, I do miss home. I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss my dog. But there is just so much more that I want to see that I have not been back home since, and I am not sure when I will.
So how much time you took to adapt to this culture and to this climate and to this food, Japan?
Well, the food was right away because I love food. I love Indian food, Chinese food, Korean food, Mexican food, all sorts of food. I love food. So that was the part that I adjusted to very quickly. I love ramen, love sushi, um, love tempura. I love Japanese food, so that wasn't an issue. The climate was different for me because in Jamaica we do not have 4 seasons like in Japan. So it's like summer all year round in my country, but here I had to get accustomed to spring and summer and fall and winter. Spring and summer and fall are okay, but then when it gets around to winter where it's so cold, then there are feelings of loneliness and sometimes depression that set in. And so one of the things that I've had to do is to find ways to take care of my mental health, especially around that time where it's darker and it's so cold. So doing things like ensuring that I have colors in my apartment that make me feel happy. Maybe a yellow blanket, maybe a teal carpet, having a candle, having plants and stuff like that. So those things that I have had to incorporate so that I could feel okay. In terms of the people where I was living, even though I was so different, there were many people who were fascinated by me, like, okay, where am I from? Maybe my hair, my skin is different. And so I made a lot of friends where I was. So by having friends, you get accustomed to the people a little bit more easily because you're able to learn about them in a more intimate settings by going to their house for dinner or meeting their friends. So yeah.
Do you have any person from Japan who helped you to adapt to that country world?
Yeah, absolutely. When I moved to the rural area in Japan, there was one lady there. She said to me that she is my Japanese mother. So she sort of adopted me. It's an older lady, she's a widow. And she could not speak English. And I knew very little Japanese when I arrived. But I enjoyed her company and she enjoyed mine as well. So she would just call and she would be like, oh, Sandie-san, doko desu ka? Like, where are you? And I'd just be like, apartmento, to tell her that I was at my apartment. And she would just come and pick me up and take me to a ramen shop, and we would sit and have ramen together. We could not speak fluently to each other, but what we had to rely on was gestures and limited language. So I would be eating and she would look at me, she would say, Oishi, Oishi, is it delicious? And I'd be like, hi, hi. So persons like her, whenever I think about Japan, even though I have had some experiences that are not so positive, when I think about persons like that, it makes me think about my experience in a fonder way. So certainly persons like that, and there have been many other people. I mean, just even like random people on the street where I'm trying to find some place and I don't know where to go, and I can just show them a picture and say, "Hey, Doko," and that those people will leave from where they are and accompany me to my place of where I want to go. And so there are those people, kind-hearted people, many friends that I've met in Tokyo and other places in Japan who certainly have helped me to adjust.
So unknown means you went into a zone which you don't know completely.
Right. The unknown. The unknown could be any new experience. For me, the unknown was moving to another country, experiencing a different culture, moving pretty much away from my place of comfort and familiarity into something that I didn't know anything about.
So known is better than unknown, right? Why you want to be unknown, going to unknown?
Wow, that's a fabulous question. The known, yes, the known is good. The known is the place where you have always seen that you are accustomed to, and the known is easy. The known is that thing and that place that you have mastered in your life. But what I realize is that sometimes mastery does not equate to growth. And if you're somebody who is always looking to grow, if you're very keen on like your evolution and stuff like that, you can't always remain where you are. And I think to myself, as you asked that question, that had I remained in Jamaica, which is a wonderful country, and I was doing fine, but had I remained in that place of knowing, think about it. There are so many things that I would have missed out on. I mean, certainly we probably would not even be having this discussion today had I not made that journey. Because what would we be talking about? And so the place of knowing has its purpose, but then the journey into the has value. And sometimes it's when you make that step, even when you're uncertain, even when you're scared, that it's going through that you grow and that you achieve so much more than you could have ever thought of or even imagined.
Have you ever thought that if I wasn't too known, I would not have faced the challenges that I'm facing today?
If I had not gone into the unknown?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question too. Um, Certainly in my first year, when I hit a rough patch, when I started having some serious challenges, I did question, I did ask, have those contemplations. I thought to myself, would it have been better had I stayed at home? Would it have been better had I stayed in my place of comfort? I would not be experiencing these things. So yeah, I have had those thoughts before. Yeah.
So, what do you say about the people who are moving from their known to unknown?
What would I say to them? Wow. Be open-minded and be patient with yourself and your journey. We never know when we set out to do something new. We can never tell what is in store for us. We can never tell what will happen. But as we move in faith, we can just continue. So we just have to continue to trust and believe that things will be okay. Even when we go through periods of difficulty, we just have to continue to believe that all things will work together for good. So that's what I would say to them.
How can you be so strong being alone in an unknown place?
How can I be? Oh, so you're asking me how can I be so strong in an unknown place, assuming that I am strong?
Okay. Assuming that you're strong.
Yeah, assuming that I am strong, but I'm happy that you're making that assumption about me. Some days, yes, I feel very strong, and then there are days that I do not feel strong. And on the days that I do not feel strong, I allow myself to go through that period of weakness, right? I allow myself to feel. There are some days when I do not feel very happy. There are some days when I do not feel strong. But what I do, I rely on my faith a lot. So there is a Bible verse that says, "In my weakness, His strength is made perfect." And so I rely on things like that. I will pray, I'll journal, I'll listen to music, and then I'm grateful for the friends that I have met on my journey who help to empower me. Sometimes it's just picking up the phone and having somebody to talk to who can encourage you, that helps you to hold it together, or even just to remind you that yes, you have that inner strength that you can pull on to keep going.
And how you came to know whom to trust and whom not to trust in Japan? Because you came from a place where you know everything and you are into unknown, and where you don't know whether they'll do good to you or whether they do bad to you. So how you came to
Wow,
know?
I love your questions. I love your questions so much. How did I come to know who to trust and who not to trust? One of the things that I struggled with on my journey, that I am trying to master now at this stage in my life, is to trust my gut. And I have not always done it. I have not always trusted that inner guidance that I have, where I can be around someone and there is just something that will be in me that makes me feel uneasy. And I'll question and I'll be like, I don't know why I feel this way in this situation. I do not know why I feel this way about this person. And there have been times when I have disregarded that inner feeling to my detriment. not necessarily in Japan, but just overall. And so, one of the things that I have had to do in Japan, or which has come to the fore, is that I have had to rely on my own inner feeling in the absence of verbal communication. Because if we can't communicate, as with the case with my Japanese mother, if we cannot communicate using language, then there is something else that speaks, and that thing is just vibe or energy. How do I feel when this person comes to my house? How do I feel when I go to this person's house? How do I feel when I leave their presence? Do I feel empowered? Do I feel happy? Do I feel nurtured? Do I feel encouraged? And so that is one of the things that I rely on. If I am around somebody and I just don't feel 100%, then I will just use that as an indication that, okay, perhaps this is not a connection or an interaction that I should seek out again. And I think it's just like, it just happens naturally. I gravitate to things in my life that happens in an organic way. Some people, you meet them and it just, things just click. There is a sort of synchronicity where you meet and it's just effortless. You want to meet again and you end up seeing them at the grocery store, and it just happens naturally, and life will just flow. There's no resistance. And so that's one thing that I use to know, where to go, where not to go, who to hang out with, and who not to.
Do you know Japanese language?
Choto wakarimasen. Just a little. I
Okay.
am still I'm still studying, yes.
How many years have been completed? You going there, living there?
I have been, next year, March, I will be here for 3 years. So pretty much maybe 2.5 years so far.
So you're watching Jamaica movies or Japanese movies?
From anywhere. I watch Filipino movies, I watch Korean drama, I watch American movies, I watch videos from home. So yeah, there's nothing specific that I watch. I'm a Netflix junkie, so I'll just
So
I'll hmm?
yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'll just watch anything that makes for good entertainment. Yeah.
So how do you came to know that there is a grocery store or there is a gym here or there is a office here where I can get job? How you came to know all these places? Do you have any guide or your own guide? You
Oh,
don't, you know nothing, right? You are in an unknown place.
right. Well, it's not so unknown. No, when I first came here, I came through a company, and I met with a translator when I first arrived, and that person helped in terms of showing me where the post office was, where the grocery store was, where the city hall was, and that was helpful. But other than that, it's Google. And over time, you learn your environment. At first, it's unknown, but then it becomes known to you. Things are not so strange anymore. So, yeah. So now I literally just find things. I search things on the internet, or I'll meet with another foreigner who will say, hey, there's a restaurant here, or, there's a bank here where you can go and get a credit card, or there's a dentist here and the dentist, he speaks English. Yeah.
So unknown become known
Mm,
today.
absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So do you have Japan citizenship?
No, no, I'm an instructor here, 2.5 years. No.
Okay, nice. So you wanted to explain your journey in your book.
Yeah,
So I'm sure the people who moves from one part of the world to another part of the world, that will be helpful and useful in how you felt you put everything in that book.
absolutely, absolutely.
So you have a good smile.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I like your shirt. It says authentic.
Yeah, authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is nice to see. It's very fitting.
So thanks for giving me your valuable time and sharing your valuable experience and the things that you have faced and actually I forgot to ask you one more question. What actually is your driving force? What drives you daily to make in an unknown place?
What drives me daily to wake up in the morning in an unknown place? Um, I always think that good things, there is the possibility for good things to happen. There is a possibility for very good things to happen. Um, and I have grand ideas in my mind, of great things happening to me, even greater than some of the things that I've experienced so far. So I think about my dream house. I think about like my dream family. I think about planting roots in another country, whether America, Canada, I don't know. And so there are these things in my imagination that are there that they don't leave, and so those things keep driving me every single day. I feel as if I'm heading towards a mark and I'm working towards a goal. And so even if the day before was not so wonderful, then the next day I know that I have to keep on going, because what's the other thing that you're going to do? You're going to quit. And there's no room for that.
Are
Yeah.
you are you married or single?
Single at the moment.
Okay, so what are your future plans?
My future plan, I have nothing concrete as yet. I know what it looks like, but I do not know how it will fashion itself. So there are things that I am holding in my heart and in my mind, as I told you, in my imagination, but I don't know how those things will fashion themselves yet. In terms of where I want to live, I have ideas, but I have not yet decided to say, okay, how much longer am I going to be in Japan? Okay, after Japan, am I going to move back home? Do I want to try living in another country like Australia or New Zealand? Do I want to go to the US or Canada? Those things I have not yet decided. But there is a there is like a vision in my mind. So I know what the dream looks like, but the route that will take me there, I have not yet figured out.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes.
This recorded video.
Yeah.
So I want to put it and I want to, anybody who watches this video on YouTube, if
Mhm.
it reaches more people, definitely, your inspiration and your motivation for a lot of people who are just trying to be, I mean, who are unable to come out from their zone, even
Yeah.
if they wanted. They want to go there. They want to step out from the place where they are. They want to go there, but they are unable to. They want some motivation. I'm sure Sandy Sunday will be, will make them believe that, you can go and you can be in unknown.
Yeah, I hope so. That is my sincere desire. And it's one of the reasons for me writing the book as well, is that I wanted to really inspire others, just as how other person's stories have inspired me. I wanted to use my story to inspire others as well.
I want you to continue your journey in unknown.
Mhm.
Be happy. Keep smiling.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks again.
All right, I'm gonna. Okay, okay, sure.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
meet. Yeah, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.